Hi, I'm here with Kelly and Anna Louise Cecil. They took the Cat and Dog Theology curriculum about 7 months ago. I'm now interviewing them to see if it had any kind of a lasting impact on their lives. Anna Louise, let's start with you. What did you think when you actually just first heard the term cat and dog theology?
Well, when I first heard it, I thought that it would just be comparing, how to act, like sin and then good, and the way to live, which way you should choose. But when I started to read it, I found out that it was actually 2 different perspectives on Christianity and how to act with your faith.
Now, how would you summarize cat and dog theology?
It's about how your life is in Christianity, if you're living for God's glory or you're living for your glory and God just happens to be there.
Anna Louise, you invested a significant amount of time in this material. Do you think it was worth it?
Oh yeah, it was worth it. At first, when I first saw it, devotions aren't really my thing. I always get through them as quickly as I can because I don't know. It's hard to apply.
Suffering through it. Oh God, help me get through this devotion.
I liked this one. It was easier. It was relatable. It became part of my routine to just do it and to enjoy it. I actually really enjoyed it.
What impact do you think the curriculum had on your life?
I go through life all the time and I apply the curriculum, what it says and what it has done. Everything I do, I try and apply it to this.
It's almost on a daily basis this is impacting you.
Oh yes, daily.
Good. What impact did it have on your relationship with your friends?
It makes me realize who my real friends are and who I should really get to know better and who I should start to grow apart from. Not cut the cords, just.
Why is that? What do you want to grow apart from? What are they communicating, or what's going on inside you that you realize this is not a wise investment?
Well, I just realized that maybe they might be impacting me or for the wrong reasons.
Or in a negative way.
Yes.
Not to live for the glory of God.
Yes, they'll just they'll lead me away, and it's hard to. It's changed the way I act, and as well, my friends have commented before, they think I've changed, but I feel like it's for the better.
Wow, your friends have commented on it.
Oh yeah.
Wow, that's terrific. Do you use social media?
I do.
Did this have any kind of an impact on your use of social media?
It did actually. I actually kind of stopped going on social media a whole lot because there were so many cattish comments, and I find myself going on them a whole lot less than I did before. Actually, I maybe check it once a day now, when I used to go on all the time for a long
Interesting.
time.
Good.
You had made a comment on Facebook, and it was public. I wasn't snooping. That someone had said something about another youth member, and she would never talk about anyone. That's never been in her nature. But she would just be quiet and just not rock the boat. But I noticed she kind of jumped in and said, guys, let's kind of cut him some slack. He doesn't have a lot of friends, and let's just try to remember that.
So taking their cat comments and trying to redirect it to the glory of God.
And boy, did it stop. And then every comment after that was you're right, true that.
Has this curriculum had any kind of an impact on your future goals or plans?
It has. Before, my goals were how can this bring me a living? But now I'm actually working to try and find goals that glorify God more than myself, which is, I didn't even think about it before.
Now she has direction, and now she has purpose.
Mom, you went through this curriculum as well. What kind of an impact did it have on your life?
Well, first of all, a huge impact, hearing the impact it had on my daughter.
Yeah, right. What mom wouldn't want to hear that?
Wow. And she's right. She used to talk about all the time, she's an art major, she's going to be an art major, and wondering, how can I make the best living doing this? And now it's but I've got to figure out how I'm going to use my art to glorify God. So, and she's been talking about that a lot lately as we've been doing campus visits and things of that sort. I have been such a good Bible study girl. I have signed up for every Bible study that came up at church, and I was at every one, very invested, did my homework. I'm a teacher by trade, so but none of them, after a decade plus of doing Bible studies, have any of them impacted me the way cat dog theology has, on a daily basis. And it's impossible after taking the study to not go through your day and think about it. It's impossible.
So it's changing the way you actually live.
Oh yeah, we have canceled memberships to clubs that we were members of because we realized we're hanging out with a lot of cats, and it's affecting everything from our finances to our entertainment choices. It's affecting everything, and so there was always this internal conflict, you know, and there isn't anymore. Who we are on the inside is it's how we're living our life now, and nothing, like Anna Louise says, nothing else matters.
What kind of an impact did cat and dog prayer have on you?
Totally changed my prayer life. It went from help me, show me, to cause me. It's made me realize that God has equipped me with everything I need. I've just got to tap into it, and I need to act. And so it has totally changed not just the rhetoric of my prayers, but the results of my prayers.
And you still think in terms of cat and dog theology as you go throughout your day?
Oh, yes.
I do. I ask myself every day if my actions reflect cattish behavior or doggish behavior.
Now that you're aware of cat and dog theology, do you see it in your friends?
Well, I see a little bit of both depending on the person, but I'm seeing a lot of cats now. I've noticed a lot more than I did, and I would have normally just gone along with it, but now that I can know the difference. Now that you see your friends doing cattish things, it's easier to reject it? Yes, yeah, because I can recognize it.
Mm-hmm.
That's where cat dog prayer comes in next, because when I did cat dog theology, the first book, I found myself. I caught myself doing a lot of, ooh, they're acting like a cat, ooh, they're acting like a cat. After I went through cat dog prayer, I'm now saying, ooh, I'm acting like a cat, ooh, I'm purring. So I'm noticing more, I'm focusing more on myself.
Okay, at the beginning of each lesson you had 3 circles. You had to check one off. Is he Lord of your life or just in your life and not in control? Did those circles have any kind of a lasting impact on you?
It does. I actually use those circles all the time. I think I've actually made a copy somewhere in one of my journals, and I look at it all the time, and I try and see like which one I am to that day, and it actually helps out a lot with like the actions that I'm going to do in the future.
How did the lordship circles impact you?
Very much so. That it is forever ingrained in my brain, the one of the kneeling, the cross, forever. And as I go through my day, I'm constantly seeing that.
Tell me about spiritual breathing. Is that still a part of your life?
It's synonymous with that, with the circles.
Oh,
really.
absolutely, yeah.
And so, like I said, I guess I'm doing it when I'm imagining that circle.
Mm-hmm. And do you find yourself confessing, Lord, forgive me for what I just did, take control of my life, when you find out you're a cat?
Yes. Before I would repent like once in a while, but now I find myself doing it way more.
Just to check in, I'm sinful, Lord.
Yeah. But now it's almost a daily thing. Now I'll go through my day and I'll realize what I have done was something like cattish. So then I'd have to, I'd repent and try not to do it again.
Right. In the curriculum, you had to write in the application section how this was changing your life. Did you find that application section helpful?
Yes, I loved the application questions. It actually really helped me to review everything that I learned, and I actually go back to those questions all the time to see what I was thinking.
Even now, 7 months later? Mm-hmm. Wow.
It was like a journal of sorts.
And some people have said that it's like a journal. You're absolutely right. It is like a journal. Mm-hmm. And what about you? How did it impact you?
I feel the same way. I would, even now, like she said, I'll go back and look at what I wrote, and it's, journaling is just, sometimes I just feel like it's the Holy Spirit just speaking right through you. Did I write that? But it forces you to see how you're applying what you're learning to your life.
Do you find yourself sharing this with others?
I was just at the pool this summer talking about it with a friend, and someone I didn't even know leaned over and asked questions about it. I ran upstairs, got the book out of the condo, gave it to her, and she has since emailed me and said, you just would not believe how this has impacted me. I passed it on to my neighbor, so it's the whole ripple effect.
We are trying to start kennel communities where homeschooling families come together and crossbreed information of what they're learning and share with each other. Do you recommend people to do it alone or in a kennel community?
I think you can do it alone, but I think it's better to do it with people in a group so you can see the different ideas from everybody, and you can also hear like their stories, and it's all really interesting to get to know everybody and to grow together.
See how it's being applied and from different perspectives in different lives. And meeting every week helped keep her accountable too. She knew, I have to get it done by this time, and she had to budget her time and kept her accountable. It's different when it's just she and I need more time. I had this week and that this week, but she knew we were getting together, so it helped keep her accountable as well. And she looked forward. She'd be disappointed if it was canceled for whatever reason. So it is so well organized and well laid out. It was easy to just go through it as a group. And like she said, so some of the best parts were hearing other people's stories and how it was applying in their lives and how they were using it in their lives. So you don't want to miss it.
How did it impact your family? Because there's two of you, but you've got two siblings, is that right? And then
Yes.
your dad, of course.
Yes.
So there's your family of 5. So 3 of you did not go through it.
No.
But did it impact them?
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, we'll be in a conversation and talk about it, and then they'll be in the room and they'll ask about it, and so we'll share what we learned that day.
And so it became great dinner conversation.
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely, all the time. All the time. And not just, grandparents, extended family. We have one particular son who's getting ready to go to high school next year, and it has given us a point of reference to help talk him through a lot of the situations. He's been in some pretty difficult situations lately, bullying from a student at school, and we have been so impressed with his responses to this kid. Very proud of him, and in fact it impacted the other family, because when the other family saw the text messages and saw his responses, which were a direct result of conversations we'd had around that dinner table, direct result of conversations in the car, talking about our homework with cat dog theology, and the parents themselves who were not believers now as a family are going through Christian counseling, and or said that they're so sorry that their son treated my son the way he did, but they are now so grateful that if he was going to do it, he was going to do it to this kid because it has impacted their family in such a positive way. And I'm not so sure we would have reacted the way we would have if we had the nature of the text my son was receiving. This kid would have had serious repercussions. He would have been expelled immediately. Police would have been called, very threatening. But we chose instead to just lovingly go to this family and sit down rather than go to the school or the authorities. And so I'm not so sure I would have handled it that way a year ago. I think it would have just, the mama bear would have come out and I would have immediately gone to the principal, and we would have taken care of it that way.
Yeah.
And but this way it's had a much greater impact.
Now your husband didn't go through this, but he's been impacted by it?
Absolutely.
How?
Absolutely. He has, he's done mission work. He's never done mission work. He's taken a day off from work and gone to do, to rebuild a home for missionaries who are on furlough, and to help, he's an electrical engineer, so he helped them figure out the wiring and all of that. He wouldn't have had time for that before. Not that he wouldn't want to. He would always say, oh, I want to, one day. But now right now, why not right now? And he's the first one up going to church. It used to be Saturday night, are we going to church tomorrow? Mm-hmm. And now it's, all right, everybody in bed, we're going to church tomorrow. So he's become the spiritual leader in the family before that he wasn't. And he didn't go through this. He's not a big reader, but he likes, all right, give me the 411 on what you read today. Let me know. Bottom line it for me. That's what he always says.
Nothing about the curriculum about marriage, but has it impacted your marriage?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because I'll say something like, I was a cat. I'm being a cat. He didn't marry a cat. He's a dog person. He's a dog man. So, yeah, absolutely. My words, my actions, and even, like I said, when I fall, I make sure I'm falling forward so I can get back up in the right direction.
Anna Louise, how did you like the You Teach section where you had to teach it to others?
I liked how it was set up for you, and you can just, you had footnotes, but you can still apply your own words. And
absolutely,
you
yeah.
can apply it to anything going on in their lives too. I really liked that, like seeing my brothers learn, and now they can apply it to their lives.
Was the answer key helpful to both of you?
Yes.
It was helpful for days you were doing it alone by yourself, especially because then you don't have other people's opinions. So it was helpful to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we had missed a week, you know, we couldn't meet or whatever, we were on vacation or whatever, it was nice to have it to go back and
Right.
get an idea. But yeah, there were times that even I wasn't quite sure. And then once I saw the answer, I was like, oh, okay, now I get it. So it was very helpful. Had it not been there, I would have just skipped over it and gone on.
What did you think about the Chris and Sarah stories? Were those helpful? Were they applicable? Would you see, man, I could see that in my own life and my own friends at church?
Mm-hmm. I liked those stories. I'm a story person. I learn better by reading them, reading scenarios and stuff. And the scenarios were, they were very relatable to me because I liked how she was like the same age, and she had scenarios that would happen to me or my friends any day.
How'd you like the quizzes?
I liked the quizzes. When I realized that I'd missed a couple of questions, I'd have to go back and it helped me review. So they were helpful.
Yeah, a lot of times when you miss, it's better because then you go back and review, and then it really sticks, and so you can remember it actually better when you miss it.
Yeah.
You even went through the quizzes. How were they for you?
Same thing. I'd be shocked at the ones I'd forgotten or hadn't remembered, so it was a nice review.
How did you like it as far as being able to say, as a homeschool mom, you've given your daughter a credit for 1 year of Bible?
Oh, it was great to be able to, I mean, all the intrinsic value involved, but then to be able to actually use it as a credit as well on her transcript is fantastic. But actually, even if I wasn't able to do that, I would still be so worth it. So worth it. But yeah, it's a nice added bonus.
Anna Louise, do you recommend this curriculum to others?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's a great curriculum for any homeschooler, or anyone actually, who just wants a good devotional, because I've gone through lots of devotionals and it just wouldn't hold me as long as Cat and Dog Theology has.
You'll never forget about it. And when I first saw the title, immediately I had remembered one Sunday school lesson where a teacher who had gone through the curriculum, before it was a homeschooling curriculum, he'd read the book, and he had taught one Sunday school lesson on it, and it was 7 years ago, and I still remembered. I remembered it immediately, and I remembered the theme. I remembered exactly. I was like, oh, I heard about this. Yeah, we're going to do this. So yeah, for it to have heard one lesson and for it to have stuck with me all those years, then yeah. And so now that we've gone through it, I'll never forget it.
Anything else you'd want to say about the material? Anything we didn't cover in the questions?
Other than I don't think it's just for homeschoolers. I mean, I'd like to see this in other Christian schools and, you know, Sunday school classes, and it's not just for homeschoolers.
Okay, Anna Louise, you had just turned 16 when you started taking this. You were the one who said, "This changes everything." You remember that phrase?
It really, yeah.
Elaborate on that. What were you saying? What were you commenting? What did you mean?
It changed everything. I changed my actions. I changed the way I thought and the way I prayed. Like, even like the places I'd go to, like, didn't even seem that important. What I said to others and who I was hanging out with, it just applied to everything. And I ended up like changing so much of what I had done.
When she says this changes everything, it did. It did, and I'm jealous because I wished I had found it at 16 and not 42.